Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsyreplays and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having another look at the Chieftain T95. As we know, I've never been a big fan of the tank, and my last video on the tank, I did say that this tank would actually be very, very good if it had a stronger hatch. In update 6.5, all my wishes come true, and Wargaming did announce that they are reinforcing this hatch. So I'm sitting there thinking, amazing, absolutely amazing. If they make this hatch troll or even impenetrable, then it's actually going to be a really, really good, fun tank to play. So 6.5 come, Wargaming buffed the hatch. You can't tell. I mean, they've buffed the hatch, but it's still weak as. And it's just, why would Wargaming do that? Why would Wargaming buff a hatch that needs buffing, but they just haven't buffed it enough? Anything can penetrate it. I mean, anything. I think they've buffed it just so you can't be HE'd. That's all Wargaming have done. They've buffed it just enough so it can't be HE'd. It still makes the tank bad. That is not the reason why this tank was bad. It wasn't bad because you could be HE'd. It was bad because anything can pen you. You can't hold down. You can't use its gun depression. It hasn't got strong frontal armor anyway. So buffing it just so it doesn't get HE'd, it's not going to stop you getting penned. And that for me was the biggest downfall. I don't mind if you can be HE'd on a tank, but come on, it's not the HE that makes this tank bad. I mean, yes, it can be HE'd from these SUs and these ISUs and the big caliber guns, but you can be penned by anything. Anything. Tier 7, Tier 8, Tier 9, it doesn't matter. You could be penned by absolutely anything. So for them just to buff the hatch just so it doesn't be HE'd, because come on, how often are you HE'd in the hatch? Even though it can easily be pennable with HE, how often does that happen? Once every blue moon. I mean, with the tanks that HEU, majority of them are all big caliber guns. For example, ISU 152, SU 152s. But these have also got big aim time. So if you're out in the open long enough for someone to fully aim in at your hatch, you're playing it wrong anyway. So it wasn't the HE that really I was disappointed with the tank. It was just the fact that anything can pen you, and it made the tank shit. It really did make the tank absolutely shit. And that is why I didn't enjoy playing the tank. And after they've updated, my opinion is still exactly the same. It's just they haven't buffed it enough. I mean, they gave it, I think, more DPM, I think, more whatever else they've done with it. They've done other things to it, but it didn't need all that. The DPM was fine, the aim time's fine, the accuracy, everything's fine about the tank, except for that hatch. And to see them buff it, it was pointless. It was absolutely pointless. However, we are still going to see a few games that do pretty decent. We've got Tank Iron here, and I think he comes up against, so he's coming up against two Chieftains. Hopefully you're going to see just how easy it is to pen the hatch. I mean, it's around, what, 100? I looked on Blitz Hanger, and looking directly in front of the hatch, it's like 120 mil or something like that. Maybe in some areas, in some positions, it's even less than that. So what's the point? What's the point of that? It's absolutely pointless. And I am a little bit disappointed that it just hasn't been buffed enough. I don't want it so it's a hatch that it's impossible to pen, but at least so it's trolled, like the AMX-30B hatch, the T95 E6 hatch. You can pen them, but they're still very, very troll. Now you're gonna see these Chieftains at the top. I mean, the hull, you can get troll bounces on the hull if you're using your gun depression, etc. But if you're trying to hold down it's impossible. There's no point. I mean, this T43 can easily penetrate your hatch with AP, easily. I mean, look at this. This guy, all he can see of that Chieftain is the hatch, and just look how grey that is. That is just grey, and that is the only thing he can see. If that hatch was reinforced even more, then you can't penetrate that, which means you have to find a different position. So I'm very disappointed. I am very disappointed. I thought that this was actually going to be very good. I did say in my update 6.5 video that it's going to be good, because the only downfall with the tank is that hatch. And unfortunately, after the update, the only downfall with this tank is that hatch. So yeah, whether they'll change it more, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they will, at least not for a while. Not if they, I think they need to up it to it's 100, roughly 120 mil, maybe 180 mil, maybe, and just so people has to use, even if it's so people have to use Pramo on the hatch, that will be good enough, because it'll be impenetrable for standard rounds. Maybe tanks like ISU 152, something really, really good pen. Maybe yes, that be able to pen, but it should be strong enough so you struggle to pen it with normal round, at least, in my opinion. Everyone's going to have different opinions. Of course, you might say that is really good. You might say that you play the tank and you always get shot with HE. Then, yes, it's good for you. But for me, the HE wasn't the issue. It wasn't the issue at all. It was just the fact that every freaking person out there can penetrate you. If you're in this position, you think you're in a good position because you're hull down, but yet that hatch is showing and you're actually not in a good position. However, he's still bouncing. He is still bouncing, but he's not bouncing on the hatch. So this battle, there's still a lot of work to do. There's 3 versus 4. Our guy here he's still on 4 hit points, so he can take a couple of shots if needed, but the enemy are winning on supremacy points, and there's only 3 tanks left alive. Now, he even needs to go down and try and get B, but as soon as he pokes up, there we go, he gets absolutely wrecked. So the only option now is they need some kills. There is a couple of tanks that are low hit points, but they either need to try and take C from the enemy, or they need to try and get B, because the points are just going up, and there's still a full hit point IS-6 to deal with. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very difficult, but they definitely need to take out that Super Persian, and they need to take out the SU-152. The SU-152 is a one-shot if he can get around there, and they definitely need to cap that base. So there goes the SU. He brings it now down to a 3-on-3. So it's looking a bit better. But he needs to get that base. He has to get that base from the enemy to stop their points going up. But there goes the ISU 152 on his team, and it now is a 2 versus 3, and that pushes them up to 800 hit points. So there's a lot of work to do. Here comes the IS-6. There is 2 tanks on 1 here, so they should hopefully deal with the IS-6 pretty quickly. He needs to reload. I thought the IS-6 was going to drop there, but he doesn't. So it's now a 2-on-2, and there is the Super Persian here. He is a 2-shot, and again, he is getting some troll bounces, but that, I think, is just the noob Super Persian in my opinion. And now it is a 2 versus 1. Again, look how strong the turret is. The turret is fairly strong. It is really strong, but that hatch, even from this distance, just watch, he's trying to hide his hull. That enemy chieftain is trying to hide his hull, and actually he does a great job, because it's quite difficult to hit that hatch from this range, but I mean, we're going to see it happen. We are going to see it happen, and everyone, if you're getting in these positions, everyone's going to aim for the hatch. So at the moment, the enemy are now on 960 supremacy points. He's now a 1-shot, and luckily for him, he goes around that corner just in time, literally just in time. And he is just now going to see the battle out. So fair play to that chieftain on the enemy team. He definitely won him the game. But unfortunately, it is a loss because of supremacy. So they still get the ace. Tank Iron still gets the ace at 4,200 damage. The enemy chieftain did a really good job as well at 3,000 damage. I'm not sure if he aced it or not, but he did a really, really good job. So that battle there, obviously you see the chieftain on the enemy team. And we are going to have another battle from Warrior. I'm not going to try and pronounce the second name. We're just going to call him Warrior. And it is on Middlesbrough. And again, it is a supremacy game. So there is 3 light tanks on either team. The enemy, however, have a medium tank to go with that. So the 3 light tanks, 2 T49s and a T71 have obviously gone to spot by C, which they have spotted a couple of tanks. So good start. I mean, their team is taking A, however, the enemy team is not taking B. So it could be that everyone on the enemy team is coming up this way. However, on this map, I do think that there's a cap either side that is easily cappable without any risk of getting shot. So on this map, I do think that you should try and cap the base. If it is supremacy, to try and cap that base at the bottom. Because, I mean, now look at our team here. Warriors team is now capped A, and they're capping B from the enemy. So they're going to have 2 cap points already. So it's already now going to be a big ask for the enemy team to come back, and they can't cap the base C because there's just too many fast medium tanks around here. Even with the Chieftain, with the quick rate of fire, you can see enemy is capping C, but it's going to be pretty easy to decap the C when there's so many tanks around. So Warrior's going to wait. He is now going to go forward, and he makes the T54 lightweight back up to reset the cap. So I love the fact that he does that. Again, they're trying to cap C, but they just can't cap the base, and that's really good play from this team here. And as you can see now, there is the Scorpion flanking around, which is going to be great because it will take the attention of at least a couple of the enemy tanks, because there's a lot of tanks around here. There is a lot of red tanks around here, and I love the fact that Warrior's just waiting. He's backing up, going forward, gets the bait shot there from the T49. The T49 does miss, and he does get a nice bounce there. So this battle, he's actually bounced a few shots, 1180 hit points. So he would have been dead. If he didn't bounce all these, he would have been dead. So 680 supremacy points now. There's 2 tanks down on his team. So I am surprised that the enemy, they didn't rush, but I mean, they've waited and waited and waited, and they are all now bleeding hit points. So there is a couple that is low hit points, but they should have this. They should have this. It's now 5 against 4. The T49 just keeps poking out. He forgets. I think he's forgetting that he hasn't actually got no armor, and he just had his sights on the T49 on his team. Doesn't go to plan because the rate of fire of the Chieftain is actually really, really good, and he manages to take him out to bring it down to a 3-on-4, but nearly 900 supremacy points. And now the T54 lightweight, don't know what that Tiger P was shooting at, because the T54 had gone around the corner ages ago. Now the enemy should have capped these bases earlier, and you can see that they are going to do a really good job now. One is capping base A, but they have to start capping base B. That T54 lightweight should be at base B. I mean, he was a one-shot. There's not really nothing he can do. He should have gone to base B because there's no point in him fighting. He can't fight, and he didn't. Unfortunately, for his team, he didn't. Yes, they caught base A, but finally a tank goes to base B. So now the 990 supremacy points. It's a 2-on-3, and both tanks up here. The Tiger P can actually do this if he's smart, because he is full hit points. I mean, the T49 on his team is a one-shot, and he's just bounced his shot into the side. But unfortunately, there's not a lot the Tiger P can do. If there's one tank one side, one tank the other, and you're in the open, there's just not a lot you're going to do. And all it takes now is for the kill. But the T49 is now dead. That brings the supremacy points even further down, and he does manage to take the Tiger P out, but now he needs another kill. He has to get another kill. He has to stop the enemy capping bases now. Either that, or he has to cap base C, and as soon as he caps base C, he will get the win. But I don't think he wants to go for the cap. There's now 2 one-shots. He's going to want to go for the Radley medal, and he's going to want to go for the win by killing all the tanks and not by supremacy. So, nice shot there on the T49. He doesn't clear him, only 18 hit points left. But the T54 again rushes in. He bounces, he rams, and he kills him for the win. And luckily, just before the game ends, he does manage to take the T49 out for his 5th kill. 4,637. So that is the Chieftain, guys. Not much, to be honest, has changed from the update. It's the turret, the hatch is still really, really weak. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy69, and I'll catch you soon.